Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss two articles that include interviews with Radio Silence, Jasmine Savoy Brown, and the producers of Scream 5 and Scream 6, which includes writer James Vanderbilt. They were asked about Stu Macher's return to the franchise, and they opened up to share their thoughts on the possibility. We'll also hear about the motivation of writing a key scene to the end of the movie, and I will explain how it is greatly misunderstood by a lot of people. Let's go! So I'm going to focus on two articles. One is from Entertainment Tonight and the other is from Variety. Now, first up, an Entertainment Tonight article, we have Jasmine Savoy Brown on her thoughts if Stu could return. Now, when asked if Lillard could come back in future films, Jasmine Savoy Brown said that anything is possible, baby. And she's right. Anything is possible. We've already seen characters in Scream 5 and Scream 6 that have suffered far worse injuries than Stu's 4 stab wounds and the TV falling on his head, which I have to say, he had both hands bracing the impact. Now, for more reasons of why Stu could have survived, be sure and check out the People versus Stu Macher video here on my channel. It's a deep dive into the evidences with factual data and statistical data, so you need to check it out. All right, anyway, back to it. For example, look at the attack on Chad in Scream 5 and Scream 6. He's still alive, and they were much more savage than anything Stu endured. So clearly the current creative team is demonstrating that anything is indeed possible. In fact, when asking Tyler Gillette about Stu coming back, he responded by saying, meanwhile, Gillette acknowledged, anything's possible at this point. There's that phrase again. Anything's possible. Now, speaking of Gillette, in a different ET interview, he was asked the question, if you could bring back any past character, who would it be? And here is his answer.
I mean, look, I know I'm going to step in it, but Stu Macher.
So there we have it. Tyler would like to bring Stu back more than any character in the past. So having one of your directors who is really on board with wanting Stu back certainly helps things out as far as predict possibility of it happening. So now getting back to the Entertainment Tonight article, though, we hear from another member of Radio Silence, Chad Villella. Now here's what he said. While producer Chad Villella added that he's also a fan favorite. So maybe, who knows? Talking about Stu here, of course. So it's clear that Radio Silence is open to bringing back Stu Macher. But what about the writers and producers? That is who we hear from next in the Variety article. Now, the question was asked, could Matthew Lillard pop up in a future movie? James Vanderbilt, who we've heard from as well, or who is, the chief writer and one of the producers, says there's no good answer, so I will never confirm or deny stuff like that. And then Tom Sherrick, one of the producers, says anything's possible. There's that phrase again. And then Paul Neinstein, another producer, says characters can come in and out. That's different. There's different ways to do it. It's such a part of all their lives. They have an affinity for Scream. So basically what we're hearing here is that anything's possible. I mean, everyone is saying anything's possible. This is a definite possibility, guys. And, you know, talking about one of the writers also who is not in this interview is Guy Busick. And Guy Busick is a very vocal Stu truther. He absolutely, Matt Bittnell, the Open, said he's always saying how he's, you know, this is the time, you know, we're going to work him in. And so he's avidly wanting Stu to come back. So you have a lot of people here that are open to it, that are on the creative team, the director's team, that are open to Stu coming back. They love Stu. So these things all do matter, guys. All right, it matters. It increases the opportunity, or the chances rather, that actually happens. It definitely does. So I just wanted to do this because I saw these articles, and I'm like, you know what? I hear a lot of people saying, you know, Stu is dead definitively now, and it's not the case. It's not. I don't see it that I don't see anything that points to that. And when I read this article, I'm like, you know what? Neither do the directors or the writers, and the producers. So this needs to get. I want this message to get out there. So for those of you who haven't seen this, that you know, it's not over yet. The Stu train is not over. You know that his return is definitely just as plausible and possible now as it's ever been. Nothing's changed. In fact, there's a scene at the end of Scream 6 that I hear a lot of people talking about, where they throw the TV on Ethan. It's the final scene. And people are saying that it was a direct statement towards those who believe Stu is alive. Basically, that it implies Stu is dead because it was the final blow, and it's symbolic, right? That Stu dies dead as well. I'm hearing that a lot. Well, I hate to bust the bubbles there about this, but I'm going to grab a stick pin and pop the bubble, because in the Variety article, writer James Vanderbilt was asked about this scene, and here's what he had to say about that specific scene. He said, "I just loved that moment. Once we got the idea of her saying, 'I saw that in a scary movie once,' we had to do it. It's the one last pop-up. It was more about that than saying anything about all the Stu truthers out there." So there you have it. You know, they were not trying to make a statement that Stu was dead. Now, and again, I already talked about Guy Busick, but my point is, this is, you know, a lot of people are taking that ending and it's being misunderstood. Fact is, right there, we just read it. They were not thinking about that being anything about saying any commentary on Stu at all. It just wasn't. So we can just put that completely to bed. All right. So will Stu return in Scream 7? Hey, considering all we just went over now in this video, it's clear that anything is possible. So as your conductor of the Stu train, I say get your tickets now if you don't have one, because Stu Nation is rising up in preparation for his return. Stu is just alive now as he's ever been, and if you believe it, the Stu is alive, don't let anyone discourage you from that. Not anyone change your mind, because nothing has been shown and demonstrated to us that says he is. And this is from the new team who's making these movies. So keep the faith, rise up, get your Stu train tickets, because we're getting that train ready to roll. And of course, I have to say, get it up. All right, guys. Well, listen, I want to know what you think about the possibility of Stu returning in Scream 7 or even beyond. I want to know your thoughts, ideas, and any theories you may have. So start leaving them below right now in the comments section so we can discuss it together. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this update, but I will be back soon with more Scream and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thank you for watching.